Today I'm making a fresh strawberry cake. Here I have 1 pound of strawberries that I'm going to clean and remove the stems. I've already rinsed them well. Now in this recipe I'm going to keep the strawberry sliced and whole, but you could puree around 8 ounces of the strawberry and add it to this cake batter recipe to make a strawberry cake. But I like to slice it, and I'm going to slice all of the strawberries. And in an 8-inch round cake pan, which I have here, I've already greased it and lined it with parchment paper. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar to the bottom. Now, depending how sweet or not sweet your strawberries are, you might need to add more sugar or maybe less. It's up to you. Here I'm taking my sliced strawberries and I'm going to just layer them all on the bottom of the cake. So my strawberries are in the pan at the bottom, and here I probably should have cut off the excess parchment paper, but I'm just gonna let that be dramatically tall today. I also wrapped the exterior of the cake pan with a damp cloth. This will help prevent the cake from doming. Now I'm going to work on my cake batter. For the dry ingredients, I will be using 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to add them together, and I'm going to mix and combine well. Then I'm going to set it aside until I'm ready to use it. Here I have 1 large egg that I'm going to crack into a bowl. Now I'm going to add it to my blender cup. I'm mixing everything in my blender cup today. So here I have 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, 1/3 cup of whole milk. I'll be adding 2/3 cup of sugar. And before I forget, I will also be adding a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 teaspoon of strawberry extract. Now I'm going to cover with the blender cup lid and blend. Now that the wet ingredients are blended and combined well, I'm going to add the dry mix into this. And once I add all of this flour mixture, I'm going to cover with the blender cup lid and blend until it is mixed. Like I said, you could do this in a bowl with an electric mixer. This is just what I'm doing today. And if you want to add 8 ounces of those strawberries into the mix and puree, you can do that. So now I'm going to add my cake batter right on top of my layered strawberries. And I'm just going to scrape the blender cup, and once everything is added to my cake pan, I'm going to smooth it out, and I will be baking this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 to 40 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. It has been around 37 minutes and my cake is ready, so I'm going to remove it from the oven and let it cool for 15 minutes. I still want this warm when I flip it out onto my cake platter because those strawberries will produce their pectin and juices, and it sort of becomes sticky the cooler that it gets, and I don't want it to stick to my pan. So I'm going to use a butter knife to run along the edge of the cake pan and the cake, and I'm going to carefully remove the parchment paper. And mind you, this is still somewhat hot. It's not extremely hot, but I still want this warm so it'll come out easier. So I'm just going to carefully flip this out onto my cake platter. I am using a towel because, like I said, it is hot. And once I flip it over, I'm going to tap the cake pan just to make sure that it drops onto the platter. And then with using my butter knife, I'm going to flip the cake pan off of the cake and then just carefully peel back the parchment paper. Some of the strawberries might come up with the parchment paper, so just use the butter knife to sort of put them back into place. And once I've completely removed the parchment paper, I'm going to let this set and cool for 20 minutes. Then it's ready to serve, and you can garnish with whipped cream, powdered sugar, serve with hot tea, coffee, it all works. It's a very easy and simple cake to make, and it's so delicious and fresh. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.